Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Ian wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws and plays a mountain. My turn has a 3-tree city coming in, and I name Zombie. Max draws and plays a swamp. Mika's got a forest and passes to Ian. Ian's turn 2 has a mountain coming in, and he pays 2 for a Mask of Memory. I play a Tainted Isle and pay 2 for a Talisman of Domination. Maximus draws and plays a swamp. Mika has a Kessig Wolf Run for turn, and then taps out to cast 3 visits, going to find a land. Ian's got another mountain for turn, which isn't a surprise since he's playing mono red, casting 2-handed axe before passing turn. I've got a city of brass, and I cast Metallic Mimic. I name Zombie as it comes in, and pass after it resolves. Max has a swamp, and casts a Progenitor's Icon, naming Demon. He ships it to Mika after that. Mika's got a forest, and on curve casts Faldorn before passing. Ian's turn 4 has a mountain, and he then casts a Brass Squire. I play a Reflecting Pool, and am able to cast Wilhelt. My commander enters with a +1/+1 counter from the Metallic Mimic since he's also a zombie, and I pass to Max after that. Max plays a swamp and casts the Speed Demon. He starts his engines at 1, and then moves to his end step, losing 1 and drawing 1 from the Speed Demon's trigger. Mika's turn 4 has a Swiftfoot Boots, and he follows up with Passionate Archaeologist. Ian's got a mountain, and casts Brash Taunter. I draw and lose 1 from tapping City of Brass to help cast Lord of the Accursed. It comes in with a counter, and I pass turn after that. Maximus's turn has him playing an Urborg, and he then casts a Semblance Anvil. With it entering, he imprints a Cloud Key under it, and then casts a Basilisk Collar for free. Max then continues by playing Bontu's Monument, and going to combat, he swings the Speed Demon at Ian. Ian takes the hit for 5, and Max takes his speed up to 2 and gains 5. After that, he moves to his end step, with Maximus drawing 2 and losing 2 from the Speed Demon's trigger. Mika draws and activates Faldorn, discarding a card and exiling a mountain off the top. He then plays it, making a wolf token, and then foretells a card and passes. Ian draws and continues with some Rattlesnake cards, casting a Silent Arbiter and passing. I play an untapped Agadim the Undercrypt, losing 3, and then cast the Undead Warchief. It comes in with a +1/+1 counter, and I then activate the Lord of the Accursed to give my zombies menace. I then swing my commander at Maximus. He can't block thanks to the Silent Arbiter, with Maximus taking 7 commander damage. I pass after that. Max has a swamp in his main phase and casts an Overseer of the Damned. This has the Bontu's Monument trigger to drain his opponents for 1 going on the stack. And in response, Mika casts Green Slime from exile to counter the trigger and destroys the monument. Mika also gets to make a wolf token, and deals 3 to me from the Archaeologist trigger. The Overseer then enters and destroys my Lord of the Accursed. This makes Maximus a zombie token. Going to combat, he then swings the Speed Demon at Mika for 5, and after it connects, gains 5 life and increases his speed to 3. Maximus then plays out a Loxodon Warhammer, and moving to his end step, loses 3 and draws 3 cards. Mika's turn has him casting Escape to the Wilds, exiling some cards off the top, and allows him to play an extra land for turn. He plays a mountain and then a Carplusian Forest, making 2 wolf tokens and passing after that. Ian draws and casts Khârn, and then uses the Brass Squire to equip him with a 2-handed axe. He passes after the ability resolves. I draw and activate the 3-tree city, making 4 black mana, and use some of it to cast Bolas' Citadel. I then start by playing Death Baron off the top, losing 3, and then Erebos Bleak-Hearted, losing 4. I then play an island off the top. I then cast Ashnod's Altar off the top, and I move to combat. I swing a Decayed Zombie token, which I got from the Lord of the Curse getting taken out at Mika, and he blocks it with a Wolf token. At the end of combat, I sacrifice the Decayed token and pass turn. Maximus' turn has him casting Soul Ring, and then playing a Thespian Stage. Going to combat, he swings the Speed Demon at me, and I take the hit for 5. This is Max gaining max speed, and during his end step he loses 4 and draws 4 cards, and has to discard down to 7. Mika starts his turn off by casting Kadama's Reach from exile, dealing 3 to Ian with Passionate Archaeologist. He finds a basic for the field and 1 for his hand, and then plays the forest that he put to hand as his land for turn. He continues by casting a Volcanic Torrent from exile, which has him making a Wolf token, and he cascades into Riftbolt, which he uses to target the Brash Taunter. This has Mika then dealing 5 with the Passionate Archaeologist trigger because of the Volcanic Torrent, and deals 3 to Max from the Riftbolt trigger, and the Torrent then deals 3 to each creature that isn't Mika's. The Brash Taunter taking another 3 then has it dealing 3 to me, and since Khârn has taken damage, it's prevented, with Ian drawing 2 and donating Khârn to me. Max also gets to make 4 zombies from the Overseer of the Dam, seeing other creatures getting taken out, and with nothing else, Mika passes. Ian just draws and plays a Fire Diamond and passes. I draw and cast Whip of Erebos in my main phase. I then go to combat and swing Khârn at Mika, and he blocks with a Wolf token. I gain some life thanks to the Whip, and Khârn gets sent back to Ian, which lets me draw 2. In my second main phase, I then play an Arcane Signet off the top, losing 2, and then Pitiless Plunderer off the top, losing 4. I then finish things off by casting Roaming Throne off the top of my library thanks to the Citadel, losing another 4, and naming Zombie. I then move to my end step. This has Wilhelt triggering twice thanks to the Roaming Throne, and I sacrifice 2 Decayed Zombie tokens to draw 2 and pass turn. During my end step, Max activates Progenitor Icon to allow his creatures to have flash, and he casts a Hezru, and we move to his turn after it resolves. Max draws and plays Crypt of Agadim, and then moves a Loxodon Warhammer to Hezru. Going to combat, Max swings Hezru at Mika, and with the reassurance from Max that it'll take me out, Mika chooses not to block. Before damage, Max activates the icon once more, flashing in Sower of Discord, and he picks Mika and I. I respond to this by casting Sink into Stupor, and bounce Sower to not get taken out, which has just Mika taking 9 in the end. After combat, Max then casts a Resurrection Orb. He then moves to his end step, losing 4 and drawing 4 from the Speed Demon trigger. Mika draws and casts an Arcane Bombardment, and then follows up with a Sylvan Tutor. The Arcane Bombardment exiles Volcanic Torrent, and he casts it and cascades into Ignite the Future, which exiles his top 3. The Torrent then deals 4 to everything, and with the board getting mostly wiped, I get 4 treasures off the Pitiless Plunderer, but the Brash Taunter deals 4 to me, and I get taken out. Ian then gives Khârn to Max since he's taken damage, and draws 2, and Mika then finally gets to resolve Sylvan Tutor, and goes to find Nalfashni, putting it on top. Mika then passes, and during his end step, Ian casts Lightning Bolt and targets Khârn. The damage is prevented, with Max drawing 2, and Max gives Khârn back to Ian. Ian's got a mountain for turn, and then casts Key to the City. Going to combat, Ian swings Khârn at Max, and with the Axe trigger on the stack, Ian then casts an Invigorated Rampage, and then Unleash Fury to bump Khârn up to lethal amounts of damage. Ian also activates Key to the City to make him unblockable, but Mika responds by casting Stomp and takes out the Silent Arbiter. This triggers the Arcane Bombardment, which in turn exiles Sylvan Tutor. He casts it, and then the Volcanic Torrent. The Torrent in turn cascades into a Venture Forth, which deals 4 to Ian from the Passionate Archaeologist, and Venture Forth then hits the Spine Rock Knoll, which comes into play tapped and hides away a card. The Torrent in turn then deals 5 more to Ian with the Passionate Archaeologist trigger, and then 4 to each creature, which has the Brash Taunter taking 4, and Ian redirects it to Max's face. Ian unfortunately loses control of Khârn though, which has him drawing 2, and he donates it to Max. Mika then once more tutors for Nalfashni with the Sylvan Tutor, and after all that, Ian then casts a Blasphemous Act, which wipes the board and deals 13 to the Brash Taunter. Once more he gets to redirect it, and he deals the 13 to Mika's face. Max does get 2 zombies off the Overseer of the Dam though, seeing other creatures get taken out before it hits the graveyard. Khârn also takes more damage, which has Max donating him to Mika and drawing 2. Max's turn has him playing an Amonkhet Raceway, and he sacrifices a zombie to cast Vile Mutilator. It makes Ian sacrifice the Brash Taunter, and Mika sacrifice the Passionate Archaeologist, and Max then continues, casting a Death Rattle Oni. He then casts the Sower of Discord we saw, and picks himself and Mika. He gives the Sower haste with the Raceway, and going to combat, swings it at Ian for 6. He passes after it connects. Mika's turn has him drawing and then casting the Nalfashni that we knew was on top, and he then casts a Terramorph. The Arcane Bombardment then triggers, exiling Riftbolt, and he casts a Volcanic Torrent, which in turn cascades into a Wand of Wonder, and Mika gets its mountain off Terramorph. He then tutors for a creature and puts it on top because of the Sylvan Tutor, and once all that stuff's resolved, he pays to equip the Swiftfoot Boots onto his Nalfashni. Ian draws, plays a mountain, and recasts Khârn. He plays Burn from Within on Khârn, drawing 2 and donating it to Max, and then passes turn. Max's main phase has a Monument Breaker coming in, making Mika sacrifice Nalfashni and Ian discard a card. Max then continues by casting a Desecration Demon, and then moves the Loxodon Warhammer to it, and then activates the Raceway to give it haste. Going to combat, Max swings Khârn and the Demon at Mika to take him out. He then passes turn. Ian draws and plays a Soul Ring, and then casts a Kumanu Battle Armor. He follows it up with Gimli's Axe, and equips the axe onto the battle armor before passing. During his end step, Max flashes in a Nightmare Shepherd thanks to the icon. Max draws and plays a Swamp, and then casts Mortarion. Once it's out, he activates the Raceway, giving it haste, and he moves the Basilisk Collar onto Mortarion and goes to combat. He swings everything at Ian, taking him out and winning the game. Game review time. So this game was a bit on the average side in terms of what I like to put up, which is about an hour and 15 minutes. And I think the strongest card this game, outside of Bolas Citadel, which is an absolutely broken card, was probably the Speed Demon or Volcanic Torrent. I say Volcanic Torrent because Mika kept controlling the board by wiping it away, plus getting decent amounts of value, which I guess was more related to the Arcane Bombardment than Volcanic Torrent itself. Honestly, I don't know what was the best card. There was a lot of stuff going on by the end of it, and it got pretty wild. What do you think was the best card this game? Let me know in the comments below. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.